My beloved brothers and sisters, have you ever found yourself waking up suddenly in the middle of the night between 3 and 5 a.m.? Your eyes open, the world is silent, and something deep inside feels restless. Many people turn over and go back to sleep, but do you know that very moment could be one of the greatest blessings of your life? It's not just a random awakening. It may well be Allah inviting you to something far more beautiful than sleep, a private audience with Him. When a believer wakes up in the deep silence of the night, between the hours of 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., it is not always by accident. There is something special about those hours, something hidden that many people overlook. The world is asleep, everything is calm, and distractions are gone. In that stillness, a person is gifted an opportunity to turn to their Creator without disturbance, without noise, and without being pulled in 1,000 directions. This is a gift that many do not recognize, but those who do find treasures that transform their life. Think about it. All day long, our minds are racing. We are busy with work, family, studies, money, and countless concerns. Even when we pray during the day, sometimes our hearts are not fully present. But when you wake up at that hour, your heart is lighter, your surroundings are quieter, and your soul is more sincere. You are not distracted by notifications, by conversations, or by worldly demands. It is just you and Allah. That is why waking up at that time is not something ordinary. It is Allah giving you a chance to connect deeply with Him. Many scholars mention that if your eyes open at that time, you should take it as a sign that Allah wants something good for you. It is as though He is gently inviting you, come to me, ask me, speak to me. The last third of the night is described in Hadith as the time when Allah descends to the lowest heaven and calls out to His servants, who is calling upon me so that I may answer him, who is asking from me so that I may give him, who is seeking forgiveness so that I may forgive him. Imagine the Creator of the heavens and the earth waiting for you at that moment, asking about you. That alone is enough to understand how great a gift it is to wake up at that time. Sometimes we think of blessings only in terms of wealth, health, or opportunities, but one of the most powerful blessings is simply being given the chance to wake up and remember Allah in those sacred hours. It is not just sleep being disturbed, it is a spiritual invitation, a calling, and a chance to rise higher in faith. And whoever recognizes that gift will never see those hours the same way again. Tahajjud is one of the most beautiful acts of worship that a believer can engage in, and it is performed in the quiet hours of the night when most of the world is asleep. It is not just another prayer. It is a door of mercy that Allah has opened for those who are sincere enough to walk through it. The beauty of Tahajjud lies not only in the physical act standing before Allah, but in the atmosphere that surrounds it. The silence of the night, the stillness of the air, the calmness of the heart. All of this prepares the believer to connect with their Lord in a way that the daytime can never allow. This prayer is a mark of sincerity because it is done at a time when no one is watching, no one is praising, and no one is noticing. It is just you and Allah. In a day when we pray, people might see us, they might acknowledge us, and our ego can sometimes interfere. But Tahajjud removes that. No one wakes up in the middle of the night just to impress others. Only the one who desires Allah, only the one who feels a pull toward Him will get up, wash, and stand in prayer while others sleep. This is why Tahajjud is described by scholars as one of the clearest signs of true faith. It is also the moment when Allah's mercy is pouring down the most. The Prophet informed us that in the last third of the night, Allah Himself asks who is calling upon Him, who is asking Him, and who is seeking forgiveness. To imagine that the King of Kings is actively offering His mercy at that time should be enough to melt any heart. When you stand in Tahajjud, you are stepping into that ocean of mercy, and it washes away your worries, your fears, and your sin. Tahajjud is also a door to acceptance of du'as. So many people complain that their supplications feel unanswered. But how many of us truly get up at night to cry before Allah? In that secret conversation, the du'as flow differently. The tears fall more sincerely. The heart speaks more honestly, and Allah loves that humility. Even if it is just 2 rakahat, even if the prayer is short, it holds weight beyond imagination. The mercy that descends on a believer in those moments cannot be measured, and the tranquility that follows is unmatched. Dua is one of the most powerful gifts Allah has given to His servants, a direct line of communication between the Creator and His creation. It requires no appointment, no mediator, and no formality. It is simply the pouring out of the heart, the whisper of the soul, the cry of a servant who knows there is no one else who can help, forgive, or provide except Allah. When a person wakes up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. and raises their hands in dua, they are not just asking, they are engaging in one of the most intimate conversations a human being can have. What makes dua so special at that hour is the purity of the moment. The world is quiet, distractions are gone, and your heart feels lighter than it does during the day. In those hours, there is no need to rush, no pressure to finish quickly, no one watching or judging. You can sit with your Lord and speak freely, openly, and sincerely. You can admit your mistakes, you can seek forgiveness, you can cry, you can laugh, you can plead, and you can thank. And the most beautiful part is that Allah listens to every single word, even the ones you cannot put into sentences, even the ones that remain unspoken in your heart. There are countless examples of people whose lives have been transformed through dua made. At night, scholars, righteous people, and ordinary believers have testified that what they could not achieve in years of effort, they were granted after nights of sincere dua. The Prophet himself would spend long hours in supplication during the night, showing us that dua is not just about asking, it is about strengthening the bond with the one who already knows what you need. At that sacred time, your dua is not just heard, it is treasured. The hadith tells us that Allah asks, "Who is calling upon me so I may answer him?" This is not an ordinary invitation. This is a personal call from your Lord, asking you to tell him what is on your heart. Imagine being given access to the King of Kings, who promises to respond, to forgive, to grant. That is what dua truly is, a personal conversation, a moment of closeness, and a chance to offload your worries onto the one who can carry them all. When a believer wakes up in the stillness of the night, one of the most powerful things they can do is engage in Dhikr Istighfar. Dhikr is the remembrance of Allah and Istighfar is the seeking of His forgiveness. Both are like fresh air for the soul, cleansing it from heaviness and darkness. In the quiet hours of 3 a.m. to 5 a.m., when distractions are gone and the heart is softer, remembering Allah carries a different weight. Words that may seem simple during the day, Subhan Allah Alhamdulillah, Allah 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 Akbar, echo more deeply in the heart at that hour. They are not just sounds on the tongue, they become nourishment for the soul and light for the chest. Istighfar, on the other hand, is an act of humility. It is a servant acknowledging their weakness, their mistakes, their shortcomings, and turning to the one who never tires of forgiving. No matter how many times a person has sinned, no matter how many times they have fallen, Allah's door of forgiveness remains wide open, especially in the last third of the night. To sit quietly in the darkness, whispering Astaghfirullah again and again, is like washing the dirt off your heart. Each repetition removes a layer of guilt, a burden of regret, until the soul feels lighter. The Quran praises those who seek forgiveness at dawn, describing them as the people of taqwa. This shows that istighfar is not just for those who have committed major sins, but for every believer who wants closeness to Allah. Seeking forgiveness is a mark of love and humility, a way of saying, "Oh Allah, I know I cannot survive without your mercy." And when a person combines dhikr with istighfar at night, they are filling their heart with light and cleansing it from darkness at the same time. The beauty of these acts is that they do not require physical strength or long effort. Even if someone is too tired to stand in prayer, even if they cannot focus for long, simply sitting on their bed and moving their tongue with dhikr and istighfar can open the doors of mercy. These quiet moments have the power to transform a person's day, to ease their worries, and to draw them closer to Allah in a way that is felt immediately. It is a reminder that purification of the soul is not found in the world's distractions, but in turning back to the one who created it. There is something unique about the silence of the night that cannot be found during the day. When the world is asleep, when the streets are empty, when phones are silent and responsibilities are paused, the heart finally finds space to breathe. The mind that was crowded with endless thoughts begins to settle, and the soul that was weighed down by the demands of the day starts to feel light. In that silence, a believer is able to turn inward, reflect, and connect with Allah in a way that feels almost impossible during the busyness of daylight hours. The heart has a natural longing for peace, but during the day it is drowned out by noise, conversations, work, social media, and endless obligations. At night, between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., the distractions disappear and the believer is left alone with their Lord. It is in that stillness that sincerity is born. The eyes may be tired, but the heart is awake. The tongue may whisper softly, but the soul speaks loudly. It is in this moment that clarity descends upon the heart and the person begins to see their life, their struggles, and their blessings with new vision. The silence of the night also gives power to dua and prayer. When no one is watching, when no one is listening except Allah, every word feels more genuine. A person does not need to choose their phrases carefully. They simply speak as they are. Sometimes they cry, sometimes they confess, sometimes they just sit in the quiet and allow their heart to communicate what their tongue cannot. That clarity of the heart is not only emotional, it is spiritual guidance. Many times solutions to problems, strength for trials, and courage for decisions are born out of these silent moments. The Quran mentions that the recitation of the night is more effective and impactful precisely because the heart is more focused. In that silence, the verses penetrate deeper, the remembrance feels stronger, and the forgiveness feels sweeter. It is not just about the absence of sound, it is about the presence of Allah in that silence. And when a believer learns to embrace the calm of the night, their heart begins to experience clarity that brings peace during the day as well. The night becomes a refuge, a sanctuary, and a source of light that carries them through whatever challenges await them when the sun rises. One of the greatest lessons in worship is that Allah values consistency more than sheer quantity. It is easy to be inspired for a short while to perform a large number of prayers or make countless du'as in one night, but then to leave it behind completely. True strength, however, lies in the ability to do small deeds regularly, even if they appear insignificant. The Prophet ﷺ taught us that the most beloved deeds to Allah are those done consistently, even if they are few. This principle is especially important when it comes to the blessed hours between 3 a.m. and 5. A person may feel motivated to spend the entire night in prayer once or twice, but if they cannot maintain, they may eventually abandon it altogether. Consistency also shapes the heart. When a believer trains themselves to return to Allah every night, even briefly, it becomes part of their identity. They begin to crave that quiet time with Allah, and their soul feels restless when they miss it. This is how lasting habits of worship are built. Not through overwhelming efforts, but through steady, sincere steps. Just as drops of water eventually carve valleys through rock, small acts of worship performed consistently carve faith deeply into the heart. Another wisdom of consistency is that it keeps pride away. When worship is simple and regular, a person does not feel superior because they are not overwhelmed by the greatness of what they are doing. They remain humble, knowing that it is not about impressing others, but about maintaining a private bond with Allah. That humility paired with regular devotion is what brings true barakah into life. Therefore, waking up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. is not about performing grand acts each time, but about making sure you do something, no matter how small, every time. That steadiness builds sincerity, earns Allah's love, and gradually transforms a believer's heart, proving that it is not how much you do in one moment, but how much you keep alive over time that truly matters. Would you like me to now stitch all these expanded parts together into a full-length speech script? 12-14 minutes with intro and conclusion, so it flows naturally as one powerful lecture. My beloved brothers and sisters, waking up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. is not a random occurrence. It is a divine opportunity. It is Allah gently calling you towards Him, opening a door that many people sleep through. In those sacred hours, you have been gifted a chance to experience Tahajjud, to make heartfelt dua, to fill your tongue with Dhikr and Istighfar, and to enjoy the clarity of the heart that only the silence of the night can bring. And above all, you are reminded that it is not about how much you do in one night, but about building consistency, even with small acts that keeps your bond with Allah alive every single day. So the next time your eyes open at that blessed hour, don't rush back to sleep. Recognize it as mercy, as an invitation, as a personal moment between you and your Creator. Even if you stand for a few minutes, even if you only whisper a short dua, even if you only say astaghfirullah with sincerity, know that Allah sees it, values it, and loves it. These are the moments that shape your destiny, that cleanse your heart, and that bring unimaginable blessings into your life.